What's going on, guys? Mr. Jones coming at you once again. Today we're going to do task 5.7. It's called Get to the Point. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Excuse me. All right, so anyway, it's called Get to the Point. So here we go. Let's get to the point. Hopefully in the warm-up you remember that we went over arithmetic sequences again. That was back in Module 1, where you had a given value, a value that happens no matter what, a one-time value. And then you had something that changes over time. So Carlos and Clarita need to clean the storage shed where they plan to board the pets. They have decided to hire a company to clean the windows. After collecting the following info, they have come to you for help deciding which window cleaning company they should hire. So there's two companies, Sunshine Express Window Cleaning. Okay, Sunshine. Okay, this company charges $10 per window and a one-time fee of $50. Okay. The other company is Painless Windows. Painless. And they charge $15 per window. And they charge $25 one-time fee. Okay, so here's your information. It also tells you that X represents number of windows, and Y represents the total money earned, or total cost. Okay, so it says the amount of money earned, but I think that it's the total cost of the window service. So the window service cost depends on the number of windows that you decide you want to get washed. So go ahead and pause, take a few minutes. Let's come up with these equations, guys. And then after you come up with the equations, you're going to make a determination of which company you would recommend. Okay, which company would you recommend? But pause the video. All right, now that you've had an opportunity to do this, hopefully you said the first equation was 10x plus 50. This is for Sunshine. And the other one was 15x plus 25. So these are your two equations that you should have had. This one goes there, this one goes there, obviously. And so that should have went in these two boxes. And then now make a determination. Which one do you recommend? The choice is yours. All right, re-input the equations, okay? This one, top one's for Sunshine, this one's for Painless. And then it gives you some specific examples, right? So it says, if you were Carlos or Clarita, which company would you hire to clean your windows if you had 4 windows to clean? What about if you had 6 windows to clean? What about if you had 5 windows to clean, right? So really what's going on here is you have a table, and the number of windows is your X value. So it wants to know 4, 5, and 6, right? 4, 5, and 6. Which one is cheaper at 4 windows, 5 windows, or 6 windows? Make your selection. All right, now you're going to go ahead and toss your equations in here. So this is Sunshine Express. And this one is Painless. Okay. And the question is, at what point do the two lines cross? So you're going to have to zoom out and find where these two lines cross, right? So way up here, where the heck do they cross? Do they cross at, right here it looks like. I think they cross at 5/100. What do you think? 5/100. Looks like it crosses both lines. Maybe you think it's something different. So go up there and make sure it crosses at 5/100. So what does that mean? Okay, what does it mean if you say it crosses at 5/100? The next thing you're going to do is need to learn a couple concepts called solving systems of equations by substitution. Before we start, you will need to watch this video and take notes. It's a pretty long video, but it's a good one. So make sure at this point you guys watch this video and take notes, because you're going to have to submit those notes as part of the assignment. All right, and then now that we know how to solve U substitution, we're going to go back to some equations that we've already talked about in the past. So here's the two equations in standard form and slope-intercept form, if you guys recall, for space and startup costs. So we already have these equations. They should already be in your notes. We've talked about these a million times now. So you're going to write, this is the equation for space, this is the equation for startup costs, and I gave them to you right here, right? So you don't even have to do any work. So this is startup right here, and then the blue one is space, right? Okay, so make sure you guys get those equations written in here. It says, because your presentation on which cleaning company to hire reminds Carlos of something he has been thinking about. What are the coordinates of the points where the boundary lines and the pet sitter constraints intersect? So is that going to be the best bang for your buck, is right there where the two lines cross? What was your space slope-intercept form from the previous slide? And what was your startup cost slope-intercept form from the previous slide? Now use your amazing notes you took from slide 5, these notes, to determine what the point of intersection is. So now you're going to go ahead and use these two equations and determine what the point of intersection is. And go ahead and write your point right here. Okay. So go ahead and pause the video and do that, guys. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, so let's see what we got. First things first, you have to set the equations equal to each other because you have two equations that both equal y. And now the next thing you want to do is make sure to get x by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 15 from both sides. And that leaves me with 1. And then I'm going to add 2/5 x to both sides. Now this all cancels, but now we have to add these two together, and they're not, and we do still have a 1 over here. So don't forget the 1. So I'm going to leave positive 1 over here, and now we're going to have a certain number of x's. So how would we add negative 1/4 and positive 2/5? Okay, well, let's turn them both to 20ths. Okay, so 4 times 5 is 20th. So that's a 20, and then 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, so that's that one. Then 5 times 4, so we're going to multiply everything here by 4. So then here we have 8 20ths. So now we can combine an 8 and negative 5 and we get 3 20ths. 3 20ths x. And now how do you get rid of that fraction? You multiply by its reciprocal. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal. This all cancels and you get x equals 20/3 plus 1. 20/3 plus 1. Or sorry, 20/3 times 1. This is multiplication times a positive 1, which gives us 20/3. Okay? And 20/3, if you guys did it in your calculator, which some of you guys did, is 6 2/3 or 6.66666 with the bar over it, right? This is all the same answer. So that was your x value, by the way. All right, so now we're going to plug in our x value that we just found into one of our equations. And you're really supposed to plug it into both, but we're going to just pick one, pick the easiest one. So let's see, do you want to do negative 1/4 x plus 15 or negative 2/5 x plus 16? I'm going to choose the blue equation. So we're going to plug this x value in. Okay, so y equals negative 1/4 times x, which is 20/3. Okay, so we have to do both of these, and then plus 15. Okay, so really I should just put parentheses around that one, but it doesn't really matter. Let's erase that. All right, so let's go ahead and just solve this. Now luckily this time we're multiplying, because in multiplying fractions you just multiply straight across. So negative 1 times 20 is negative 20, and 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. And let's see. And then we have to add 15. Don't forget to add 15 at the very end. Now we need to reduce our fraction. So y equals, I don't know, negative 10 sixths plus 15. You can reduce that again. Y equals negative 5 thirds plus 15. Okay, so I'm just reducing this fraction by dividing it by 2 a couple times. And now the problem is we're adding to a whole number. So let's go ahead and turn 15 into thirds. Okay, how can you turn 15 into thirds? Normally there's a 1 on the bottom. What if we just multiplied everything by 3? So now we get negative 5 thirds plus 45 thirds. And now since we have a common denominator, we can combine this and we get 40 thirds is our y value. Okay, so x value was 20 thirds, y value was 40 thirds. And if you want to check, guess what? You can always toss both of the equations in Desmos and see if that's where it actually happens, right? So 40 thirds is 13.3333. So go in Desmos, type in both of those equations and see if you get 13.33 and 6.66. That would be your point of intersection, by the way, 6.66 and 13.33. I'd rather you actually write 20 thirds and 40 thirds, okay, as your point of intersection. All right, now it says let's practice one more. Use the slope-intercept equations from previous lessons. So what I want you guys to do is either go back and find the slope-intercept equation we gave you for feeding time and pampering time, or you can realize that you have the other equation here, which is 12x plus 20y equals, let's see, 480. So here's the feeding time. This is feeding. But you have to convert this to slope-intercept form or get it from your notes. Okay. And then the other one is what? 16x plus 20y equals 480. And this one is pampering. Okay. So go ahead and get the answers for the equations for slope-intercept and put those here, and then give me the point of intersection. So all the work we just did, now you're going to do on your own. And then last but not least, it says, hey, what's the point of intersection for the original problem that we talked about, right? And that's it. And then we're going to sing Bye 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 together because that was the boy band of my high school years. All right, guys, have a good one.